glanced at the bloody places there and on his body. "Sweet boy," she whispered, as she put the bridle aside. She reached her hand up and stroked him gently. "Sweet, sweet boy." She laid her forehead against his with a long, heavy sigh. After a minute, he lifted his head and looked at her, and whinnied. "You need medicine on those cuts, don't you?" she said softly. "And you need therapy," Ren Colter said coldly from behind her. "You were told to stay away from that horse." Hurricane jumped and moved back from the gate. He shook his mane and snorted. Merrie turned with a halter in her hand. She walked toward Ren and pushed it toward him. He stared at it, and her, with utter shock. "How did you get that off?" "He let me," she said simply. "Do you have medicine I can put on the cuts?" "He'll kill you if you walk into that stall with him," Ren snapped. "He's injured 2 cowboys already." "He won't hurt me," she said quietly. He started to speak, but then he looked at the horse. Hurricane wasn't stamping and running at the gate as he had before. He was simply looking at them. "You're sure of that?" he asked in a quiet undertone. She looked up at him with quiet, sad, pale blue eyes. "Sort of," she said. "Of course, if I'm wrong and he kills me, you can always stand over my grave and say, 'You told me so.'" The sarcasm pricked his temper. "You think you know how a horse feels?" he asked sarcastically. She shivered a little, even though it wasn't that cold in the stable. She didn't want to discuss anything personal with that cold, hard man. "He hasn't attacked me, has he?" He hesitated, but only briefly. He turned to the 2 cowboys who'd been standing there while Merrie worked magic on the dangerous animal. "Do we have some of that salve the doctor left?" Yes," one man stammered. He went to get it and handed it to Merrie. "Ma'am," he said, taking off his hat, "I ain't never seen nothing like that. You sure have got away with animals." She smiled. "Thanks," she said shyly. Ren's dark eyes narrowed. "If he starts toward you, you run," he said firmly. "I will. But he won't hurt me." They moved back, out of the horse's line of sight. Ren was concerned. He didn't want his brother's girlfriend killed on his ranch. But she did seem to have a rapport with the horse. It was uncanny. She opened the gate and moved into the stall, with firm purpose in her step and no sign of fear. "Sweet boy," she whispered, blowing in his nostrils again. "Will you let me help you? I won't hurt you. I promise." He shifted restlessly, but he made no move to attack her as she reached up and put some of the salve very delicately on the bad places on his head. From there, she moved to his injured flanks, wincing at the cuts. She put salve on those, too, but she could tell they needed stitching. It was no wonder that he was still in this condition. He'd injured anyone who came near him. He was afraid of men, because a man had hurt him. Women, on the other hand, were not his enemies. She finished her work, smoothed her hand over his mane, and laid her head against his neck. "Brave, sweet boy," she whispered. "What a wonderful horse you are, Hurricane." He moved his head against her. She patted him one more time and left the stall, securing the lock. She smiled at the horse and told him goodbye before she walked back down the aisle where the men were. "The cuts on his flank really need stitching, I think," she said softly. "But he's afraid of men. A man hurt him. Women didn't." She looked up at Ren.